Okay, picture this, right? You're on top of the world. Like Empire State Building on a clear day, top of the world. For 3 years, Olivia and I were building something, you know? Real deal stuff. Sure, bumps in the road, who doesn't have them? But underneath it all, it was solid. At least, that's what I believed. Totally, utterly believed. Then came the proposal. I went all out. Horse-drawn carriage through Central Park in the snow, fancy restaurant in the West Village, the velvet box, the whole 9 yards. Dropped to one knee, she said yes. Fireworks exploded in my chest, not just the ones over the Hudson. Cloud 9. Please. Cloud Infinity was more like it. We decided to throw a party. Engagement party. Big deal, right? Celebrate with everyone we knew, all our people in one place. Booked this killer penthouse loft in Tribeca, floor-to-ceiling windows, city skyline views, the works. Invited all our friends. Her family flew in from Jersey, mine from upstate, the whole shebang. Excitement was buzzing. You could practically taste it in the air. Party night rolls around, place is jammed, DJs spinning, everyone's dressed to kill, looking like $1 million. Lobster rolls, mini pizzas, champagne tower, you name it. We had it. Laughter bouncing off the walls, the city lights twinkling outside, everything sparkling, perfect. It was everything we ever dreamed of, maybe even more. I'm working the room, you know. Shaking hands, hugging aunts I haven't seen in ages. Catching up with my college buddies about their latest Wall Street wins and losses. Uncle Leo is telling his same old embarrassing stories about me as a kid. My mom's beaming like she just won the lottery. Olivia's parents are practically glowing with pride. Just picture perfect. Then, sometime around 10, maybe later, I realize I haven't seen Olivia in a bit. No big deal, right? She's probably cornered by her mom talking wedding dress fabrics, or showing off the rock to her girlfriends in the powder room, something totally normal. But then, like, 15 minutes go by, 20, pushing 30. Still no Olivia sightings. A little niggle of unease starts to tickle my stomach. I tell myself to relax. She's fine. Probably just got caught up in a deep conversation with her maid of honor about flower arrangements or some wedding craziness. But the tickle turns into a full-on itch, a scratch I can't reach. Weird vibe, you know? That spidey sense thing. Gut feeling screaming that something's just off. So I start looking, casually at first, like I'm just making the rounds again. Bathroom? Nope. Just a line of girls fixing their lipstick. Bar area? Nada. Just guys ordering another round and flirting with the bartenders. Dance floor? Packed with bodies moving to the beat. Strobe lights flashing but lost in the pulsating crowd. Definitely not her. Okay, now I'm starting to actually sweat a little. This is getting strange, bordering on creepy. I decide to step outside. Maybe she went out for some air, get a breather from the party madness. It was getting a little stuffy and overheated inside, even with the AC blasting. Slide open the glass doors to the terrace and step out. New York winter air hits me like a slap of reality, sharp and cold, a welcome contrast to the party heat. City sprawls out before me, a million lights twinkling, breathtaking panorama. Still no Olivia. Just a few smokers huddled near the railing, puffing away and chatting in hushed tones. But then I hear something else. Faint voices, muffled, like they're trying to keep it down, like they don't want to be overheard. Coming from around the corner of the building, near the service entrance, where there's this little alcove hidden by some decorative planters and a strategically placed heat lamp. My pulse starts to hammer in my ears. Not a good rhythm. This is not good at all. Something icy cold clamps around my chest, squeezing the air out of my lungs. I creep around the corner, slow and quiet, like in a cheesy spy movie, trying to be stealthy, like I'm not sure what I'm gonna find, but knowing, deep down, that whatever it is, it's going to be bad. And then I hear it, clear as a bell, unmistakable. Olivia's voice, and another voice, a guy's voice, deep, husky, and instantly, sickeningly familiar, even though I haven't heard it in years. My blood turns to frozen sludge in my veins. Every rational thought in my brain short-circuits. Every instinct in my body is screaming at me to turn around, to just walk away, pretend I didn't hear anything, go back inside, grab another drink, and forget this ever happened. But I can't. I'm paralyzed, rooted to the spot. I have to know. I have to see. Even if it's the last thing I want to see in the world. I inch closer, heart pounding so hard I'm surprised it doesn't crack my ribs, peeking around the edge of the oversized planter. And there they are, in the shadows, tucked away like they're deliberately hiding from the rest of the world, like they're in their own secret bubble of shame. Olivia, and him, Mark freaking Davison, locked together like magnets, bodies pressed tight, limbs entwined, making out, not just a quick peck, not a friendly hug gone slightly wrong, full on, passionate, desperate, tongue down the throat, hands roaming everywhere, make-out session. Her hands buried in his hair, his snaked around her waist, pulling her impossibly closer. My brain just slams to a screeching halt. Everything inside me goes numb. Time, air, sound, even the cold New York air. Everything just vanishes. I'm just standing there, staring, eyes locked on the impossible scene unfolding in front of me. Frozen solid, watching my fiancée, the woman I asked to marry me just weeks ago, the woman I was planning to spend the rest of my life with, the woman I thought I knew better than myself, tangled up with her ex-boyfriend in a dark, hidden alcove behind our engagement party. Our freaking engagement party. The party I paid for. The party I planned. The party that was supposed to be the happiest night of our lives. Then I hear her say it. Whispered, but piercingly clear in the sudden silence of my own internal world. Loud enough to shatter the last remnants of my sanity. "Oh God, Mark," she breathes, clinging to him like a lifeline. "I've missed you so damn much." Mark. Wait. Mark. That name. Like a rusty key turning in a long-forgotten lock, memories flood back, unwelcome, brutal, sharp as shards of glass. Mark Davison, her ex, the college boyfriend, the one she supposedly dumped junior year because he was too immature and emotionally unavailable. The ex she swore she hadn't seen or spoken to in years, Not since graduation, not since she moved to the city, not ever. The ex she painted as a distant memory, a closed chapter, a faded photograph in a dusty album. The ex, she. And then she says it again, just to twist the knife a little deeper, just to ensure maximum damage. The words that just detonate everything, vaporize everything, obliterate everything I thought was real. I can't believe we're doing this. Here, at your engagement party. Engagement party. Our engagement party. My engagement party. The words echo in my head, bouncing off the walls of my skull, distorted, grotesque, mocking. My engagement party. She's cheating on me. With her ex. At our engagement party. It's beyond belief. It's like some kind of cruel cosmic joke. A twisted, sick reality show prank. I'm standing there, rooted to the icy concrete, watching this living nightmare unfold before my eyes, feeling like I'm trapped behind a pane of glass, unable to move, unable to breathe, unable to scream. They're still going at it, lost in their own little world of illicit passion, oblivious to the fact that their secret rendezvous is being witnessed, their betrayal exposed. Something inside me just breaks, snaps, cracks into a million jagged pieces. I can't take it anymore. The silence, the shock, the disbelief, it all shatters. Rage, raw and white-hot, floods through me, burning away the numbness, replacing it with a searing, blinding fury. I step out from behind the planter, into the light, into their world. Olivia. They both recoil as if I'd physically struck them, like I just fired a gunshot into the quiet night air. Olivia whips around, face drained of all color, skin clammy, eyes wide with sheer, unadulterated terror. Mark, slower, more calculated, turns too, face hardening, eyes narrowing, a flicker of something. Guilt? Defiance? Flashing across his features before he schools them into a mask of faux casual indifference. And yeah, it's him all right. Mark Davison, looking older, harder, maybe even a little arrogant. The guy Olivia used to pine after back in college, the golden boy, the campus heartthrob, the guy she supposedly dumped years ago because he was too emotionally stunted and incapable of commitment. Mr. Emotionally Stunted is now passionately devouring my fiancée behind a planter at our engagement party. The irony is so thick, so suffocating I could choke on it. The betrayal is so profound, so complete, it steals the air from my lungs. "David?" Olivia stammers, voice trembling, barely a whisper. What are you doing out here?" Seriously? What am I doing out here? What in the actual hell are you doing out here, Olivia? Making out with your ex in a hidden alcove like a pair of teenagers sneaking cigarettes at our freaking engagement party. The question hangs in the frigid air, unspoken, screaming in the silence between us. But I can't even get the words out. My throat is constricted, choked with a mixture of rage and disbelief. I'm just standing there, rooted to the spot, staring at them, at her, at him, back at her, trying to process the utterly, completely, mind-numbingly insane reality of what I'm witnessing. Mark, the dude who's been caught red-handed, the interloper, the home wrecker, the guy who just brazenly made out with my fiancée minutes after she promised to spend her life with me, actually has the unmitigated gall, the sheer audacity to look at me, shrug his shoulders in this infuriatingly nonchalant way, and say, "Hey, David, man, look, I'm sorry. This just kind of happened. Wasn't supposed to happen. Wasn't supposed to happen. Wasn't supposed to happen. You're making out with my fiancé, at our engagement party, the party celebrating our impending marriage, and it wasn't supposed to happen? What the unholy hell was supposed to happen, Mark? Did you accidentally trip and fall face first into her lips? Did some rogue gust of wind suddenly fling her into your arms and your mouths just magnetically fuse together? Give me a break. The lameness of the excuse is almost as offensive as the act itself. Olivia starts crying. Big, dramatic, Oscar-worthy tears welling up in her eyes and streaming down her perfectly made-up face. Mascara threatening to run down her cheeks and ruin her flawless party look. "David, please," she wails, voice choked with sobs that sound suspiciously rehearsed. "It's not what it looks like." Not what it looks like. Olivia, we are not blind. We are not idiots. We are standing in the middle of a deserted terrace, in the freezing cold, watching you disentangle yourself from your ex-boyfriend's embrace after a clearly passionate makeout session. It looks exactly like what it is. You were making out with your ex, behind a planter, at our engagement party. It was just a moment of weakness, she gasps, clutching at her chest as if she's experiencing some sort of profound emotional distress. It didn't mean anything. Sway, a moment of weakness. A moment of weakness that involved passionately kissing another man, a man you supposedly haven't seen in years. At the party we threw to celebrate our commitment to each other, our future together, our forever. Right. Totally believable. Pull the other one, Olivia. It's got bells on. "David, please," she begs again, taking a step towards me, reaching out a trembling hand, fingers outstretched, pleading for forgiveness, for understanding, for... What exactly? A get-out-of-jail-free card? A blank check on my emotions? I flinch away from her touch as if she's burned me. The sight of her, the sound of her voice, the very air around her, it all feels tainted, poisoned. I can't even look at her anymore. I can't breathe properly. My head is pounding, throbbing behind my eyes. The whole world is tilting, spinning, threatening to collapse around me. I can't. I can't do this. I can't be here, not for another second, for another. I turn around, abruptly, without another word, without a single sound. I just walk away, back inside, leaving them standing there in the icy alcove, tangled up in their web of lies and their pathetic moments of weakness, exposed and pathetic under the harsh glare of the heat lamp. I walk back into the party. The music, which had faded into the background noise of my shock, suddenly slams back into my ears, deafening, jarring. The laughter, the chatter, the happy, oblivious faces. It all feels surreal, disconnected, like it's happening in another dimension, a parallel universe where everything is still perfect and untouched by the ugliness I just witnessed. Like I'm watching a movie, a cruel, ironic comedy, but I'm not really a part of it, not anymore. I try to act normal, force myself to grab another glass of champagne from a passing waiter, the bubbles stinging my throat as I swallow, nod vaguely at people who smile and wave, offer a weak, strained smile in return. But inside, underneath the forced facade of composure, I'm screaming. Inside, I'm a shattered, hollowed-out shell of a man. Inside, I'm dying, slowly, agonizingly, piece by piece. The rest of the night is a blur. A surreal, agonizing, never-ending blur of forced smiles and hollow congratulations. People keep coming up to us, beaming, congratulating us, asking about wedding plans, gushing about how perfect we are together, raising their glasses in toasts to our future happiness. Each word, each gesture, each well-meaning sentiment feels like another stab wound, twisting the knife deeper into my already gaping heart. I just nod and smile and murmur polite thank yous, praying I don't burst into tears or throw up all over the pristine white carpet. Every time I see Olivia across the crowded room, trying to catch my eye, attempting to mouth apologies from afar, my stomach clenches into a tight, painful knot. I actively avoid her gaze, turning away, pretending to be engrossed in conversation with anyone who happens to be nearby. I can't face her. Not yet. Maybe not ever. All I can see, every time I close my eyes, every time I blink, is her face, flushed and happy, pressed against Mark Davison's. All I can hear, echoing in the endless loop of my tormented thoughts, are her words. I've missed you so much. At your engagement party. Over and over and over again in my head. A broken record of betrayal. A soundtrack to my personal apocalypse. The party finally, mercifully, comes to an end. The DJ packs up his equipment. The caterers start clearing away the remnants of the lavish buffet. The guests begin to trickle out, coats and scarves appearing, goodbyes and thank yous echoing through the emptying loft. People hug us, still congratulating us, still completely oblivious to the emotional nuclear bomb that just detonated in my life, leaving a crater where my heart used to be. Olivia, eyes red and puffy, makeup smeared, a pathetic shadow of her former radiant self, comes hesitantly up to me, voice trembling, tears still clinging to her lashes, pleading. "David," she whispers, reaching for my arm, her touch sending a fresh wave of revulsion through me. Can we please just talk?" I just shake my head, slowly, deliberately, my gaze fixed somewhere over her shoulder, refusing to meet her eyes. "Not tonight, Olivia. I can't. I'm too raw, too exposed, too utterly, irrevocably broken. I just need to get out of here. I need to breathe clean air. I need to escape this suffocating nightmare, this exquisitely crafted illusion that has just crumbled into dust." I leave her standing there, alone in the rapidly emptying penthouse, surrounded by the ghosts of our shattered celebration, the discarded champagne flutes, the wilting flower arrangements, the lingering scent of betrayal hanging heavy in the air. I walk out into the cold, unforgiving New York night, the city lights blurring through the sudden, unexpected sting of tears in my eyes. I walk for hours, aimlessly wandering through the deserted streets of Tribeca, lost in the labyrinth of my own thoughts, drowning in the suffocating weight of my pain. How could she do this to me? How could she betray me so completely, so callously, so cruelly? At our engagement party. The one night that was supposed to be sacred. The night that was supposed to mark the joyous beginning of our forever. The one night that was supposed to be ours. The next morning, or rather, later that morning, after a sleepless night spent staring at the ceiling, replaying the scene in the alcove 1,000 times, she's at my apartment, buzzing incessantly, pounding on the door like the NYPD raid squad, waiting for me on my doorstep when I finally crack the door open, looking like a kicked puppy, pathetic and manipulative in equal measure. "David, please," she whimpers, pushing past me into the apartment, making herself at home in the wreckage of my life. Let me explain. Just let me explain. I let her in. What else am I going to do? Slam the door in her face and hide in the bathroom forever? Pretend this whole thing never happened? Wishful thinking. She launches into her carefully rehearsed apology, a torrent of words, excuses, justifications, designed to deflect blame and minimize her culpability. Tears, sniffles, dramatic pauses, the whole Oscar-worthy performance. Act 2, Scene 1. She was overwhelmed by the engagement, the pressure, the weight of expectation. She was stressed about the wedding planning, the seating charts, the flower arrangements, the endless to-do lists. Seeing Mark, after all this time, just brought back old feelings, stirred up buried emotions, unlocked some long-dormant part of herself. It was a moment of weakness, a lapse in judgment, a terrible mistake that she deeply, deeply regrets. Blah, blah, blah. The same tired, cliched excuses, the same pathetic self-serving justifications that every cheating partner has uttered since the dawn of time. I listen, or at least I pretend to listen, nodding occasionally, maintaining a carefully blank expression, but I don't really hear a word she's saying. I see her mouth moving, forming words, stringing sentences together, constructing elaborate narratives of regret and remorse. But the words are just noise, meaningless sounds bouncing off the walls of my apartment, failing to penetrate the thick wall of ice that has encased my heart. Because all I can see, superimposed over her tear-streaked face, is that dark, hidden alcove. All I can hear, drowning out her pathetic excuses, is her voice, soft and breathy, saying those devastating, soul-crushing words. "I've missed you so much at your engagement party." She finally winds down, her carefully constructed monologue sputtering to a halt, the air thick with unspoken tension and manufactured remorse. She looks at me, eyes wide and pleading, swimming in unshed tears, searching my face for some flicker of forgiveness, some sign of hope, some indication that maybe, just maybe, she hasn't completely destroyed everything. "Can you ever forgive me?" she whispers, the question hanging in the silence between us, heavy and suffocating. I look at her, really look at her, for the first time since I saw her in that alcove. And for the first time, I don't see the woman I thought I loved, the woman I built my future around, the woman I was ready to spend my life with. I see a stranger, a liar, a betrayer, a selfish, callous, deeply flawed human being who is capable of inflicting unimaginable pain on someone who loved her with every fiber of his being. And I know, with a cold, stark certainty that chills me to the bone, that there's no going back. There's no fixing this. There's no mending this broken trust. There's no forgiving this. Not ever. I shake my head. Slowly, deliberately, finality in every movement. No, Olivia, I say, my voice flat, devoid of emotion, empty of everything but a profound, bone-deep weariness. I can't. She starts to cry again, louder this time, more hysterically, the carefully controlled tears finally giving way to genuine sobs of despair. But I don't care. I don't feel anything. No anger, no sadness, no lingering affection, no trace of love. Just nothing. Except numb, completely, utterly, devastatingly numb. I can't even bear to look at her anymore, to witness her pathetic display of manufactured grief. I just turn away and walk out of the room, leaving her there in my apartment, surrounded by the wreckage of our broken engagement, with her tears and her lies and her shattered, worthless promises, leaving her behind, leaving it all behind, because some things you just can't come back from, and cheating on your fiancé with your ex at your own engagement party, in a hidden alcove behind the champagne tower and the lobster rolls. Yeah, that's definitely, unequivocally, irrevocably one of them. My life right now, it's a smoking ruin, a desolate wasteland of broken dreams and shattered illusions, and I'm pretty sure I just detonated the last remaining bridge back to anything resembling happiness. No wedding bells in my future, just the deafening, echoing silence of a broken heart, and the twisted, agonizing memory of a perfect night, irrevocably, brutally, transformed into a perfect, inescapable nightmare. How do you even begin to wrap your head around something like that? It's like living in a bad soap opera, a melodramatic tragedy played out on the stage of your own life. Except it's not entertainment, it's real. And it's not even remotely amusing, it's just broken. And so am I.